Zi-O!
Hey! What's up, guys? Woo! This is what I got.
Oh, Henshin.
Henshin Hangout.
Thank
What
you
up?
for Toku Kid for bringing in some toys for us, too.
Yep, shout out to Toku Kid, wherever you are.
You guys, welcome! Welcome to Henshin Hangout. And we got the whole crew here. Are you guys excited?
Yes.
Justin taking his, fixing his schedule just so he can hang out with us on a Saturday.
Yeah.
Just like you guys.
Gotta keep with the Henshin bros.
Yeah, just like you guys. You guys, thank you so much for spending your Saturday night with us. You could be anywhere else in the world, but you're here with us.
And we appreciate that.
Now. Okay, so new episode.
Yeah.
Zi-O and Lupat. So let's jump right into it.
Let's do it.
Let's jump right into
Zi-O.
All right, let's do Zi-O.
Let's pull the two. Let's just pull it now.
It's always easy to just get this stuff going through it. All right.
Do you think? Okay, first off, do you think this episode did justice to the legacy Kamen Riders that they brought on,
This episode specifically,
or the two story arc?
So, Gaim.
Yeah. Now, I will state that Gaim is probably one of my other favorite writer shows.
Low key, though, because here's the thing. I was like, to be honest, all the characters from Gaim who kept showing up, I was like, I like you guys. Like, that dude who's in the other world, I'm not sure if he's the main writer or the second writer.
Secondary writer.
But, dude, he was so badass. He was legit.
Hey, also, fun fact, guess what? He was almost cast as Marvelous.
No way. Seriously?
They almost
That
gave
would
him
have been Marvelous. That would have been Marvelous.
And guess what? It's almost like, keep the jacket. We'll put you in writer.
There it is. There it is. Now you tell me that, it makes me want to watch Gaim even more now.
He is really awesome, and I will say Gaim has really got a lot of really exciting, really interesting character development, and it gets hella dark at the end for a show about fruit armored based.
He's
writers.
definitely a better second writer than Geiz. Geiz is
Dude, oh my gosh.
no emotion.
None.
No acting skills, nothing. You don't get anything out of him. The best part is when he changes because you don't get to see his ugly mug.
Oh my gosh, Jezzer! Oh my gosh!
Before we go further from that sick burn, let's see who's in the chat right now.
We got Edward Sanchez Productions,
What's
Thomas
up,
Franco, Roland I was gonna say Roland McDolan. That's pretty cool. J Boss, DDT Cosplay, and the cool guy.
I think I see
Layla as well.
I think Ukiya. Ian. I think Ian's over here.
Yeah, Ukiya Senpai.
I think you're here. Hey, what up?
Nice. Yes, thank you so much for joining us as we talk about this very mediocre show called Kamen Rider.
Oh my gosh, I hate it so strong. But it's so well deserved though. Like we were saying, Geiz is just I'm sorry, he's just written as a terrible secondary writer. Like, think about this, after us coming off of Banjo, who was so bad and so legit, the Geiz is just so disappointing. But I'm going to go into further detail because we got a Super Chat!
Eyes Wallow Come says, burn Jezzer.
Keep going.
He says burn Jezzer.
It's just it was a compliment to him, the hilarious part about that.
Sorry. You guys
oh my god, who is this person?
This is one of you mothers. It's one of you guys, I feel like. You guys create,
oh my god! Oh my god, he's burning!
You guys create these names
burn it!
Okay.
Burn it! Oh my
Cool
god!
down!
Thank you so much.
Oh my god!
Thank you so much for the super chat. Eyes will come.
Oh my god!
Anyway, but going further into that,
oh my gosh!
Staying on top.
You realize that if they keep giving money, you have to keep saying their name, though, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my god!
Keep it coming. And then we also
Eyes Wallow's planning on. I want to be clear. Eyes Wallow's planning on it.
That wasn't a pun. What's the mark? $5? $5, you get a very special super chat tonight. We haven't had this super chat in a while, and I don't really like this super chat, but for $5, you're gonna get a very special super chat. So use the super chat button because it's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Yes it is. But yeah, going back to Geiz. So here's the thing, like I was talking about. So on Build, we had Banjo. Banjo's an amazing second writer.
Definitely.
He's his own man, but he's also like bonded by the ties of friendship.
Right.
And we see this organically grow over the course of the series. At first, they're kind of rivals. They're just like put together by circumstance, but that bond grows stronger over the series. And Banjo stands on his own. Like, he's never like, I need you. He's never like, oh, I can't fight this person without you. Banjo's like, no, I'll get this done by myself, and I'll keep getting stronger. And he's a rival. He's a rival to Bill. There's times when he's stronger than Bill, but here Gates from like literally out the gate is like just so much weaker.
Yeah.
And but in this episode, we have Sougo saying like, "Oh, I need him." Why? You literally brought a second one of yourself from the future, and that honestly worked out better.
Honestly, though, they're already looking for a replacement for Gates. Did you guys know that?
Ooh,
What do you mean?
really?
Yeah, they already had him on the show. It's the other Sougo. Imagine, get rid of Gates and have just another Sougo.
There's just two Sougos.
Do I need-
And
I
you
don't-
give that armor to Sougo.
Yeah.
For the future. Oh wow.
You know, weirdly enough, double Sougo is the most interesting.
And it would be.
that is. That was,
Would it be cheaper for them to just have one actor and just have him play two different characters?
It'd be more expensive because you have to keep trying to find ways of like, we got a $5 super chat.
oh! You gotta burn it down, Chin. Burn it down. Burn
Stop
it down.
shouting!
Thank you.
Burn it
Ken Share trying to record a video here. Get the fuck out!
Can they hear it?
God damn.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
DDT.
for that.
I needed
Super
that.
chat. He
I
says,
needed that.
"Cookie face, burn it down."
Seth Rollins style. Too sweet.
But yeah, so yeah.
So if you need
two
another
Sougos,
$5,
if you guys want.
if you guys want, no, we gotta keep talking about our shows.
It's fine. I feel like this is more interesting than what's actually going on in the show.
Oh my man, he has a point though. I can't hate him for it. All right, but so what do you think about Gates, Justin?
I'm very much with both of you are saying. I've already stated on the show that like I think Gates is by far the weakest actor. We do
Oh my God.
We got two. We got Franklin the World. Who says, like, can I see these?
Stop
So we can
shouting!
catch this at.
Ken Share trying to record a video here. Get the fuck out!
Oh my god.
And then Dante Lamore brought that office juice.
Yeah. He goes. He's replying to
God
Eyes
damn.
Hollow come.
But then we had what was the two? Wait,
Wait, is it?
Can I- let me- let's-
say,
let me-
you say it. Say it.
No.
Say-
I
I
read it
want
one
you to
word
say it. I
at a
feel like-
time.
I can't hear
I
it.
is singular. I.
Can we go scroll up the $2.99 one real quick? I mean that person had it.
Did you just get that? Did you not understand what was happening this entire time? That's why we didn't say it.
Okay, for the person who gave the $2.99 super chat, there is an article on Hashtag Show that will answer that question. I hope you heard that.
Oh my god.
I hope you heard that over Jezzer's eyes wallow.
What?
Oh my god.
Anyway,
I didn't
we
hear
are
what
so
I'm saying.
far off track. There are two Sougos.
God.
Let's talk about the two Sougos.
Do we have to?
Yes,
This is kind of
real
better.
quick.
Wait. Franklin the World, did you answer his question?
Yeah, there's an article on that hashtag. I heard. Yeah,
Awesome,
there is
yeah.
there is
Yep,
an article
yep.
on the site. Go ahead and check it out. They'll give you answers for that.
Oh, here we go. We got another one.
Stop shouting. You gotta read it.
Stop shouting! Ken Share trying to record a video here. Get the fuck out!
Wait, can they hear us here? Okay.
Yeah, but you gotta read this comment though.
We got a $5 super chat from Dante Lamore, and he says, "I swallow cum." It's one of you, motherfuckers! I swear. Everybody's hands up. Everybody's hands up.
For the rest, he's gonna ask this for the rest of the stream. The whole stream is all the behind the scenes people are gonna be like this for the whole show.
Dale Jerome, where are your hands? Dale Jerome, where are your hands? Where are your hands? You don't type to read.
Goku, watch Josh's hands. I feel like it's Josh.
Oh, a likely story. Now.
All right, continue. Sorry.
Okay,
All right,
so two
all right.
Sougos. So we have
Two Sougos. Let's talk about
We have
two Sougos.
Sougos. One for the Henshin, one for the Hangout.
Okay, but what is it like? I mentioned that the two Sougos is the most interesting Sougo has been. Why do you think that?
Okay, so here's the thing. So one is the time travel element of it. So it's like we had a Sougo who came 3 days from the future to say, you know what? You know how you always have to do that detective work? You have to earn the other belt or whatever?
Yeah.
Screw that. We don't have time for it. Here, boom, go to this guy. You're going to find the two things there. Boom, you're good to go. Which was interesting but it also, plot hole, kind of broke the show. Because if you go by that logic, that means that I mean, like Sougo from like 10 episodes in can just show up and be like, "Hey guys, go to this spot, this spot, this spot, this spot. Here are all who another writers are going to be, and here where are you the new gadgets and everything." So it's kind of a big plot hole. But before we go into that plot hole,
We have a super chat!
Oh my God! All right, you got to read the name and you have to read what they type.
Now you guys are just making me read this stuff.
I mean, you have to.
Yeah, you have to.
That's
Jezzer.
what the super chat.
So we got
Super
$1 super chat for iCup. From iCup.
No, Jezzer, it's you got to.
Oh, I see. Okay, $1.99.
Say the name. Who's the person from?
$1.99 super chat from ICUP.
Very good. And what did they say?
Oh my
Come
God!
on. They say I swallow so much cum.
Oh my God!
You guys are messed up. Messed up.
All right.
When did Henshin Hangout become a solid R? Like seriously, we're like Deadpool right
It was
now.
like it gives solid R when I swallow cum.
Justice, superhero landing. Superhero landing.
Oh, you son of a-
Oh, he did it. We got another super. We got two super
Stop
chats.
doing it!
Oh my God!
Kenshiro trying to record a video.
This name is not hiding crap. Battlestar Galactica.
You gotta read it, Jezzer.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Wahahaha, I swallow cum. Look at the camera and read it.
Read the second one, Jezzer. Read the second one. Read it, Jezzer. Read it.
And we got another super chat from I swallow cum, and he says, "Say my name."
Johnny, I want you to read Layla's comment. She didn't do a super chat. I just need you to read it out loud.
Elliot says, "Man, y'all are childish."
Correct. No.
Yes, we are.
Dang, we can't.
Oh my gosh.
It's funny as shit.
Face Army.
It's funny as shit because I just it took me time to realize what was like. What's so funny about this? I feel like Bart Simpson's calling us right now. He's like, all right.
Oh my God.
I don't even know where we're at right
you know.
now.
Okay.
Sorry.
I'll say this about the tribute element of this concerning Guy.
Oh, wait, remember we were talking about the two Sougos in the plot hole?
Oh, okay. You know what? Jump into that first. Go ahead.
So I just explained. So like by bringing in two Sougos, that means at any point a Sougo comes from the future, say, boom, here's a cheat sheet.
Yeah.
Do all these things, you get all the writer upgrades and everything like that, and you can save episodes. You can pretty much knock out this whole series in 2 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys think?
That's true.
That's
we
true.
could have like 10. We could have 10 Sougos come.
Oh
It's like,
my
you know,
God!
It would be like 10 writers who goes.
And Geiz would just sit there on the side, not doing anything, because that's pretty much what he does.
he'd
now.
be mopey.
Yeah, he'd be
That's
like,
about it.
I'm going to defeat you, Overlord.
Well, I guess I have to kill you 10 times.
There is one thing that came out of this episode that we've been wanting for a while.
Mm-hmm.
On a show called Kamen Rider, we finally got a bike.
I think this is episode. What number episode is this?
This is 12.
It has taken us 10 episodes to get a bike again.
They should just change the name to Sucky Freaking Show.
I guess.
Oh my God!
I mean, first
Kamen
piece
Rider,
of shit.
Kamen Rider
Show.
bad. Kamen Rider bad. Let's name the show.
I guess technically they've been writing the Time Zinger.
Oh.
But I mean, that's not what you're advertising.
But I mean, we gotta find those positives though, because here's the thing.
Yeah.
Like again, so the Time Jackers and Swartz and everything like that, they showed up and they kept the little things interesting.
Always
And then
interesting.
what's his assistant's name? The one who's always like my overlord.
Whoa.
Waz. Dude, Waz kind of turned against him this episode.
That was fun.
That was cool. And Waz is holding it down to acting side. What do you guys think about Waz and what he did?
Waz is definitely becoming a highlight for the show for me. You know, like there's almost a point where I'm watching, it's like, why couldn't you have been the lead?
Why can exactly.
Oh my gosh.
No,
Waz just holds it down every
him
episode.
and her. Him and her.
I would watch a show where he's the writer and Tsukiyomi is also in charge.
Yes.
And
Or she's the second writer.
Or
Yeah,
she's the second.
dude. Every time I watch him, it's like, can she please get a belt? Can she please get a belt? Can she be Geiz? She would be Geiz. I'm sorry. Can she be Geiz? She'd be way better.
I would watch that show way more.
And you know that fight would have went down like that.
I did love this scene too, where they're yelling at present time when he didn't do shit. It's like, I didn't do what the fuck. I didn't do shit.
And they're like, sorry about that. Yeah, but like, but understandably, they're both like, they're yelling at Sougo regardless. But no, yeah, this is legitimate. No, I'm totally with you guys. It's like, Waz is the only interesting character in the show so far in terms of the hero side. And I've already said as much as I am enjoying the Time Jackers, but Waz and Tsukiyomi clearly the more interesting characters than the writers.
We got a super chat from this mofo over here. He
Really?
says, yep. From Battlestar Galactica.
Look right at the camera.
butt sex.
All right. To be fair, it's spelled. You can see in the comments. BUTSCC. Anyway.
All right, continue.
Anyway. Actually, Ukiya Senpai did point out, and that's true. I did remember that Waz will become a writer at some point.
Yes.
So we will see him take over the show, and then the show will get
There
better.
it is. But you know what's also interesting as well, but I kind of realized this episode. So we had that point where Waz goes and talks to Swartz, right?
Yeah.
And so it was interesting to me. I was watching this, I was like, wait, is Waz a time jacker?
That's what I'm thinking.
Is he an X-time jacker? Because he has pretty much all the same abilities. He can appear anywhere, just walk down, jump from place to
That's
place.
what I always thought he was. I always thought he was a time jacker.
But he
Same
serves the
fashion
Overlord,
sense.
though. Yeah.
Same jacket senses.
Yeah.
his
But
abilities.
so much cooler. So much
So
cooler.
you know how like we had a bunch of deaths on build? Can we have a death like early on in this season with the Gates?
Yeah, we can. I would like that.
Yeah. Let's kill Gates.
I'd be fine with that.
Let's just kill him.
It's like, you know how emotional we all got with Grease and everyone's like right now, just get rid of Gates.
Here's the thing. So here's the thing. Here's the thing. You guys understand. We love Kamen Rider. We love Henshin. And we're just being critical because the thing is we expect better. When it comes down to it, there are elements of the show we like, elements of the show can be improved upon. But I love that train of thought though because
There are
what if
elements
we
of the show we like?
we love the time we like the time jackers.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
We like what's the girl's name?
Tsukiyami.
Tsukiyami. We like her.
Yeah.
Was.
We like the costumes.
We like the costume.
Yep,
The
the
theme.
suits- the
I've
suits-
grown to be very fond of the theme
song
song.
is
Yeah,
great.
theme song is amazing. Theme song is amazing.
Yeah.
The suits are cool.
Yeah, but there's just our two mains are just dropping the ball right now.
Dropping it
like
bad.
literally by episode 15 we lost Sougo and Geiz and they were replaced by Was and Tsukiyomi. I'd be like, cool.
Cool. That's fine with me.
No, even giving his uncle a belt might be more entertaining than
Yeah.
you know?
And I'll say going into like I think you asked me earlier, like how is this in terms of
As a tribute,
a
yeah.
tribute to Gaim?
Eh.
Like they have Gaim's writer there, but it's one of those cases where sometimes I don't quite know how I feel about the uses of the old actors. Sometimes I think I know a lot of folks in the chat weren't feeling the Forza 5's episode. I liked it fine. And I thought it was a decent tribute to both shows, but I mean, I haven't seen all of Fives, so I understand if you're a bigger Fives fans, you weren't happy with it. But I'm a big Forza guy, and I really was quite happy with what they did with that. It was like, oh, that's my favorite, but way better than I thought it was going to be. But all the other ones after that, like O's and this, I'm kind of like, it's okay.
No, I agree with you because here's the thing. Like, I kind of feel, and I was talking about this a little bit last week, and we talked about this like with Go Kiger. When you encounter these past writers, they should be imparting like some new lesson or something to learn, not just giving you a power upgrade. And the thing about this, you should also have to earn the power
So you're
upgrade
like,
as
hey,
well.
Johnny, I have this, but you gotta do something cool to get it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Instead of oh, you're about to fight that guy, here, take that.
Exactly. It's like, oh, cool! I didn't learn anything. Hit shit.
No, exactly, and that's kind of one of the many problems with the show, and like the fact that our main characters are just not engaging to be a writer's show that's interesting regardless of your own like high concept. You're kind of dropping the ball, you know?
And not only that, though, but if you consider it as well, like, before doing this show, you had to look back at past writer series. It was ones that had time travel.
Yep.
But you should have also look back at past Sentai series
Sure.
that had time travel as well. And you should have looked at Go Kaigers like, look, if we choose to do this, especially for our anniversary year, we have a lot to live up to. And so we got to raise the game. And that's the problem is that they're not raising the bar.
No.
And it's not, again, here's the thing. Again, we love Kamen Rider, but the problem with this is that when you compare what they're doing right now to what's been done in the past, they're not elevating. In fact, they're kind of detracting from it.
Yeah.
Because again, when you talk, for example, the comedy in this episode, how'd you guys feel about the jokes and everything that were here?
Once in a while, it'll be fine.
What comedy parts did
you
we
know
have?
what? I will say there's one beat that I thought was legitimately funny, and it was when there were the two Sougos in the back
Okay.
of the uncle.
Yeah.
And Tsukiyomi is trying to talk to them, and they both are like, well, no, you should go first.
Oh,
Well,
yeah,
no,
and, like, did you pause and try to
Yeah,
I
read the
did.
paragraph.
I
Read the
did.
paragraph they both said.
that actually was stupid funny.
It was. That worked.
I need
That
to
worked.
go back and actually pause and see what that whole paragraph
Oh
was
my
saying.
gosh! I paused
so
it, and
quick.
it was just like all this stuff and information, and it was actually funny. I was like, okay, this is actually kind of hilarious.
No, the idea that like was like, okay, I should be the one going. It's like clearly you're the one who's like, I'm the older one. Why am I doing? No, like I'm actually watching. Like that's actually really funny. So no,
Yeah.
See, that's what I'm saying. We get rid of Gates and just keep Sougo, and might be it's a little better than what it is right now.
Yeah, because I mean, Geiz is just being totally underutilized, and the thing about it is that in a way, it's not his fault. Like I'll agree with you.
It's not his fault that he has like an emotionless face and he's a terrible actor.
Where's
And
the-
I don't understand how he got through the audition, for this show
Jezzer.
as a second role.
my God,
As a second
Jezzer,
role, you're...
the heat is so strong.
Ooh,
Just flame.
burning it down. Fire.
Burning it down.
The casting director's like, oh, he's a great actor. He's so good. His face isn't moving. He's blinking. He's barely blinking.
He says everything through his breathing.
But it's whoa, super chat.
Oh, we got another super
Matthew
chat.
Thompson with a super chat. He says, Jezzer say, I lick a sauce. I lick a sauce.
No, that's it. Oh.
Whatever that is.
No, you know what? That's it.
Okay.
Sorry, you couldn't figure that out. Anyways, that's it.
So
Burn.
like, was there anything else that you guys could take away from this episode?
See, the problem is, though, is that... So, one, I'm interested in with Waz, and at the end of the episode, when he starts talking about that book, it seems like there's been changes within the timeline. But the biggest thing here is, and the biggest problem here is, we had this conversation before, they need to address the time travel issue here.
Yeah.
Like with Back to the Future and other things that we've seen that establish a clear time travel logic. For this show, there's no time travel logic that's been explained yet. And by doing this episode, you low-key broke the series.
Yeah.
Secondly, Gates is kind of useless. We said this before, but the thing about this was that when he jumped through that portal and everything like that, just to give him the upgrade, it's like, Gates, what have you done? How have you grown as a character? It's like, this was literally just a waste of time.
What he should have done is get that portal open, just throw the things out there.
And then just crash
and
into the
just,
cliff.
and just stay there.
Yeah, just stay there. They hang out there.
Stay there.
Hang out with Baron until Baron leaves. When Baron leaves, then he still stays there. And
then explain to me this. So both
Oh, you would have been dope. Sorry.
both Sougos had to kill not kill, but destroy the another rider in both separate times. Why did they have to do that?
yeah, they always. Yeah.
Well, I mean,
they always have to do that.
like if you kill one, if you kill one in the past, doesn't that kill the other one?
The one from the future.
Isn't that how regular time travel works?
Exactly, because if you kill the one in the past, you solve the future problem by killing them both at the same time. Oh my God, you're creating so many different timelines.
Right.
Yeah, every time you do that, you're creating another timeline.
And we need a whiteboard. Yeah.
So
I mean, what else could
it
you?
doesn't make sense.
Oh, so what else? What else?
We need a new graphic for that. Every time we talk about this, like, it doesn't make sense.
We'll make it. So, what else positive that can you pull from this
Positive? I mean, I'm a guy who really did like Gaim. I was happy to see Baron again. I still feel like he could have used him a little better, but I was happy to see him there. And yeah, I know. Again, it's funny how I kind of do crack up at seeing the moody secondary writers. It's almost like each moody secondary writer tries to talk to Gates to try to see if he can become a better moody secondary writer.
Really though, and then they all look at him like, "Damn, you suck."
Yeah.
I'm gonna be surprised like later on in the episode, like just so much emotion comes out of this guy, and
Oh, I'll be blown away by it. I'll be blown away.
so that was the storyline the whole time. I don't understand. Whatever.
See, no, then that's an achievement in storytelling that I can't wait to cover.
I would just love to get
what
to
do they
episode
call it?
15 and all of a sudden Gates isn't there and they're sitting on the bed as Banjo.
Yeah.
Banjo, where's Gates? Doesn't matter. Nah, let's keep going.
All right. Now I see there's another super chat.
We got another super chat.
Now I want to. Everyone, I know we're having fun with this. Maybe we'll stop after this one.
Man,
I think this has been funny, but I want
Stop shouting!
Let's try to keep the conversation.
Ken Share trying to record a video here. Get the fuck out!
But please, for ICUP, could you read that last one?
RUN, this is too hard. I can't handle all this.
Culk. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Are we all good? Great.
You're good?
No more.
Okay, we
I
got
wanna
our
see- I
systems.
wanna see
We
you
got our
guys-
systems.
Everyone got out of the
We
system.
got our systems.
I think we got our systems.
Okay,
All
we're
right.
good. We're good.
We're good.
But on another note, though, thank you for the super chats. Always thank you for the support.
Thank you for
Thank
the
for keeping
super
us going.
chats.
We can't say all your names because you know why, but we appreciate you and thanks for helping us out.
Yeah. No, seriously.
You're reading the comments next week.
So, thank you very much. And let's move on to Lupat.
Lupat!
Well, so we're moving on, right?
We are moving on.
So let's get move on. We'll talk about something important.
What?
Day Onigami, get it ready. It's time for Johnny Dope Kicks.
What are you talking about?
What's going on?
So, we want to go ahead and talk about some cool shoes from this week. So, check it out. This is what I picked over the holiday season for my birthday.
What are you
These
doing?
are the Vans Skate Highs.
Get
They're
your shoes
so
up!
dope.
What?
They're amazing.
What do we
Look
have?
at the
What-
Japanese writing.
legitimately-
They're so dope.
what's
so,
legitimately
it's your
happening?
boy Johnny Dope Kick.
Put your shoes back on.
Why are
What? It's the shoes.
I can smell your feet. Put your shoes back on.
They smell amazing.
What the fuck?
Justin,
I'm fine.
all right.
I'm fine. Thank you.
So remember, Johnny Dope Kicks.
What the?
Love guys.
New text. Get that. No.
Yeah, there it is. Johnny Dope Kicks. Yeah.
What the? Okay.
We love the shoes. Screenshot.
Put your shoes back on.
We are not. Put the shoe away. Put it back.
Guys, you got to freeze for a screenshot.
If we do it, okay,
Stop.
I'll do it, but that's it.
Stop endorsing this, man.
All right. Are we done? Are we done? What was that?
Yeah.
He's
Don't worry,
wearing
he'll be back
shoes
next
today.
week. You'll get used to it.
All right.
Okay,
Anyways,
moving on. Lupat.
Lupat.
Okay, that's fine.
It's okay.
Okay, cool.
Lupat.
Cool,
I enjoyed Lupat.
This was a fun.
I
I like
did.
this episode. This was a. You know what? Okay, one of the things the show this episode did something that I was looking forward to.
In like episode 20.
I know. That's something to be fair about. But it is one of those things they finally did is a Tsukasa and Tooma episode.
Ooh.
A much needed episode.
Well, because everybody has interacted with her except for Tooma.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah, he was the last one.
He's the only one.
That's true. He actually hasn't had a ton of interaction with any of the Patrangers. So that is, you're right. I didn't even realize that, but that is actually really cool.
And not only that, though, but we got further explanation with the ganglers, too.
Yeah.
For the longest time, we were wondering, why is that general dude going out there, like, fighting more? Because, again, he's so OP. But then, this we got the explanation now is because he is technically the second hand to the main gangler. Mm-hmm. So there's, supposed to be no point for him because, I guess, when the main gangler leaves, he retires as well, I guess, or something.
Yeah.
Or...
Yeah.
I like in this scene the callback to
when the gangler took over Toma's
when
body.
Gangler took over his body and he was flirting with all the schoolgirls.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It took me a while.
Yeah.
It took me a while. I was like, wait, did I miss something? Was he flirting with her at the restaurant?
It's like no.
Guys,
What?
we might have to pause this. I forgot something important.
What?
And they're doing it in the chat right now.
What?
We didn't give that last episode a rating.
Oh.
My bad.
Well, apologies. We slip up sometimes.
Yeah,
There's been a lot
no.
of things happening
This
week.
is
Johnny-
particularly
Johnny's
All the
weird.
super chats. All the super chats.
Johnny can't keep
particular-
his shoes on, so we can't concentrate.
It
with
was
the
a
shoes
super
on.
chat, Jezzer. Okay, so this week's episode,
Out of 5
Kamen Rider
watches?
Zi-O, would you guys give it out of 5 watches?
2.5.
2.
1.5.
All right.
Wow, it just got lower.
Because you
right.
broke the series. Again, there's a major plot hole here that they have to address.
Yes.
If they don't address this, then the series literally makes no sense from now on.
All right. Well, back to the better.
And don't forget to write your
Emergency
ratings. We'll read it as soon as they pop up.
Yep.
If you're still watching the show, I know some of you are not.
Okay, so Lupin.
Jezzer, my new name.
What?
Yeah.
What is it?
Johnny Dope Kids.
So are we all
Sorry
just
to-
changing our names now?
I guess we can.
No. I'm still
Okay.
Justin. You're
Okay.
still Jezzer. So
You're
we're
gonna be
fine.
Dolphy too?
No, I will
cool.
not be Dolphy. I am my own person.
You can be Fresh Jacket Justin.
This
Fresh.
is a
Point 3.
this is a fresh jacket.
That is a fresh jacket. Everybody
I did
check it
get
out.
this
It
today.
has the captain on there. Show him the side.
And then
Boom.
boom.
Fresh Jacket Justin.
I have an Apple Watch.
All right. Yeah. Okay, so let's go to the comments.
That's
See what,
fantastic. I don't have that.
all right. Let's go to comments. See what people gave it.
DDT Cosplay gives it 3.5 out of 5. J-Boss gives it I Love Guy 4 out of 5.
Deca Master says, I give this episode a Kamen Rider Zi-O, what the F out of 5.
That's a popular rating. Huh?
Was that a Layla one? No.
Them not addressing the barren plot hole /5. It's totally fair, Ian. Yeah, no.
So,
Layla said, I'm too busy doing a countdown to my birthday out of 5.
happy
Do it big, Layla. Do it big.
so
iCup.
Oh,
I was gonna say, iCup
good.
gives it a 5 out of 5. Mm-hmm. And Explosive Phoenix gives it a 3 out of 5. Anthony Davis, not the basketball player. He has 2 eyebrows.
Two
He gives it a
eyebrows.
3.5 out of 5.
please change your name to 2 eyebrows.
And then Balsar Bellotti gives it a, I give the Johnny name change a 5 out of 5.
Cool.
And the Tavit. There you go. All right.
Okay, boom. So back to Paolo versus Lupin.
Yes.
So we're talking about it. We're getting interaction
Tooma
between
and-
the Blue Ranger and the Pink Ranger for the first time. We haven't seen this before.
Ooh, look at him trying to chat up that one girl. You remember
Mm-hmm.
you got a wife that you're trying to get back.
Yeah, he's being nice. He's just trying to. I know, I saw that. Like a salute. But no, you're right. It does a nice callback to that episode where she thought like, and he's kind of. It's one of those things. Where he's like, Gangler takes over your body once.
It seems like Thomas always like has to deal with like the repercussions of what has happened before. Like,
Yeah.
what was that? So here's the flirting with the girls.
And there was the dancing with the
last
spandex,
episode was
everything.
dancing with the spandex.
Yeah.
He's the one that's getting like shortchanged on as far as like people questioning who he really is.
And,
Which
go ahead.
I would say, which I kind of like, because we always use the cops as our comedy relief, which is the reason why people don't take them as seriously, which I think is part of the reason why their toys don't sell as
I
much.
take
and why
her
they get
super
upgrades.
seriously.
But with
She
Tomo,
can
it's
arrest me
like,
any time of the day.
oh my gosh. But with Tomo, like, because he's that blue, he's got that typical Blue Ranger spirit. We're supposed to be the serious one, kind of the rival to the Red Ranger. It's good to see him in these comedy like aspects and everything, which I enjoy.
No, same. And also, it's funny because most of his Patranger moments have been with Tsukaya. Oh my god, Green Ranger and Patranger. I'm blanking out his name. That's terrible. Sakuya.
Oh, Sakuya. Yep.
So
Was
like
it hers or his?
that's mostly the episodes he's been.
Oh,
with.
yeah,
And
yeah,
anytime he teams with Sakuya, it's almost comedic. So like it is nice that like the two serious ones,
Yes.
Touma and Tsukasa, are the ones in this episode, and I really liked. Again, one of the reasons I really love about the Lupinrangers having a secret identity thing is that they have to keep hiding it.
Yeah,
So what happens to them in this episode is like there's no way out for Touma to be able to transform into Lupin Blue.
What if things didn't play out how they did, and it got to a point where she could have ultimately lost her life? Do you think he would have revealed himself for that?
Ooh, probably.
I believe so. That's honestly, that's what I was thinking was going to happen. Like when I saw him go to the world, I knew clues would be dropped. But I was like, because you're going to the gangler world, and potentially you got a bunch of ganglers walking around.
Yeah.
I thought he might be forced to probably like again transform, and things might have come out then. And maybe she would have promised her the same thing because he saved her life.
Yeah.
These are things I thought they were setting up. Instead, they were just again building more clues up.
Yeah.
If anything, in this episode, he was putting her in danger because she had to stop and protect him.
Right.
Yeah, like honestly, if he had just like run off and just like watched from a distance, she probably would have worked out better.
Yeah.
But at the same time, though, there were some things that got me confused. Like when she's getting attacked by like those level henchmen, I was like, dude, just transform.
Yeah.
You transform, you're gonna knock these guys out real quick.
But I guess that's the thing, right? It's like any slip up of like her seeing him even after he does transform, and I guess it's always a weird high risk.
No,
he's
I was
talking
saying she
about
transformed.
Oh,
She had transformed.
you're right,
because
right.
they never fought a gang. They were
That's
just fighting
true.
like those level henchmen. So
That's true.
If she had transformed, they never probably would have been in danger.
That's true. And even if that's the thing, right? If she just did that once, the episode would have still been working out the exact same way.
Exactly.
You know, so
She got de-transformed when she fell through the portal.
I know, but could she have transformed there? I know.
No, maybe something.
there's no real set rule. Yeah, no, there was.
And I see that's the problem, though.
Yeah,
is
yeah,
I wish
yeah.
they explained it, because usually, like, for example, in Power Rangers, when they went to, like, Goldar's Dimension or whatever, they explained
There's
that
a
they couldn't
dampener or
morph
something,
there.
yeah.
Exactly. So, again, just setting those things up, because in a way, think about this. Again, it kind of misses the opportunity, because, you're there with a civilian.
Right.
But if she's able to morph or anything like that, it's like, you know what? We finally have that advantage. We can investigate these gangs and find out what the actual goal is.
Yeah, if there was a scene where either she did transformed and she's in the gangling world, cool. There was a scene where she tried and it didn't work, also would have worked. Yeah, they kind of skimmed over that. Maybe it's a cut scene. I don't know.
At the end,
Did they explain it at the end?
they merged and and then they demerged. She collapsed from the exhaustion.
Yeah.
Okay,
But
fair enough.
so we get.
And she was injured. Like, that, but she still could have probably.
She was injured, but she still took down a few of those guys.
Yeah.
like,
Exactly. So if she had more, she would have done it even easier. It's just like, again, dampen her, explain, I can only morph so much before this. It's like, just explaining that just makes it a little bit better. Before I was
like having their powers like connected directly to their anatomy.
Exactly. Things like that would have just made it a little bit better.
Yeah, but there's a lot of really cool stuff in the Gangler world. A lot of cool character development stuff here. And
Zamigo.
Amigo.
Yeah, Zamigo. I don't know if it's so much that he's working with them. I think it's just he doesn't like Destra.
Yeah.
Like, he just like, oh, fuck that guy.
And it was also interesting. Well, it felt like he wanted to keep messing with the Rangers. Like, that's his like ultimate goal, is to keep tormenting them. Because I love that line. Was like, I just don't want anybody else playing with my toys. And it was like, okay, wow, all right.
I legit thought this was going to be the end for Destra in this episode, because they're going hard on him.
They were. Yeah.
And it could have been. Why didn't he pull out Magnum and just blast him away? I feel like.
Well, I mean, that's always the problem.
Yeah, I will say this. They're talking the comments about this. DD Cosplay just bought this episode today, V, is that the weathering on Destro's costume was getting kind of terrible, and it got kind of bad. Because if you look at his helmet, it was the first time I was like, oh my gosh, I can see the face. Of the guy in the suit behind it,
Really?
yeah,
Oh, wow.
yeah, because the black's right there, you can see is like this whole thing is like, oh man, this Destra costume is like falling apart right now.
Oh, okay.
Kid didn't notice that, actually. Fair enough. What else about this episode that really sticks out for you guys?
What did Red and Yellow Lupin really have a big part in this episode, other than Lupin Red's fight at the end?
Not really. I will say though, I did like the fight. Like again, I'm loving that power upgrade of his. I love how you can see people's future moves, and I love the fact that Destra's like defense is so strong. He's able to adapt so strong.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you can see his moves. We're like, oh, That's kind of cool. It makes him an even bigger threat. I will say, so let me ask you this. Comparing this, he's a secondary, like, main villain. So comparing this fight to, like, fights we've seen in the past with, like, for example, like, with Goldar type characters or with, what's my man's name from Gokaiger? Sale.
Bosco.
So comparing it to, like, past fights with, like, the second main villain, what do you guys think?
This is not bad. It's definitely, like, I think it does get hurt by the lack of real gangler, like, build up throughout the whole season.
Yeah, because he barely really makes. I mean, he's here or there, but he doesn't really like get on the field and start.
Exactly. Yeah. And I feel like like, that is a criticism that I am 100% agreeing on is the real lack of actual character development with the ganglers.
I agree.
And so this is cool, and there's some cool stuff that happens here. I would have felt it way more if they were very consistent in bringing him back and bringing his story back in, and Amigos, etc. So
I agree.
It's strong and it's decent, but I wish there was more that would have led to that build-up.
I agree, because for me, there was a lack of emotional investment.
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't emotionally invested, because I'm thinking back to, like, when I saw Bosco fight, again, like, Marvelous, I was, like, so invested in that, because, again, killed his mentor, there's all these past fights where we've tried to beat him and failed. I was a little bit more invested there. When I think about Goldar fighting, like, Tommy or Jason, and they have to fight him in this dimension, they're trying to save their friends, there's always, like, this emotional investment when you fight the second main lead. And so here, I was just, again, it was an amazing fight scene. I liked the episode, but it's just, these are the things that they can just do better to take it to that next level.
It's like the Orange Q Ranger fighting his brother in the last season, where
Exactly.
it's like they're just menacing, and they're just, they had like a whole storyline leading up to how badass they are with these characters. That there's no build up for anyone. Maybe the closest one would be Zamigo, but that's about it.
Yeah. One of my favorite, it's in the Ranger, which became Dino Charge over here. Some of my favorite villain stuff is in that show, and there's the stuff with Dogold, who is Fury over here, and stuff with Gallion, who I forgot what his American counterpart was named, but like there was some great development with those villains and their Ranger counterparts in that show. That was their Sentai like.
And did they translate well when they moved it over?
They
to the United States?
They really didn't, except for like maybe Dogold the Fury was the closest, but
Fury's kind of like.
Was okay. Like the stuff with Dogold in Ranger was really great, and stuff with Gallion with their Black Ranger was. There was a whole stuff with them in the Black Ranger that was really great. So that is like also where I judge how I feel like this, the second in command villains getting involved with the main heroes, and it's okay here. Like it's fine. Like you mentioned in Gokaiger, like Bosco or not the other guy who I'm playing the Demolis or something like that, or something like that, or
even going to, like, for example, what was it? The Robot Army over here we called it Zi-O. In Japan it was called
Ranger.
Ranger. And like we see like the robot like grow up to become that villain and everything like that. There's like they're taking their time to developing it. Yeah. I will say this though, because here's the thing. Again, the show has gotten better, especially in the like final 20 episodes. These are things they wish they had done earlier, and which probably would have made a better season. But I gotta be real though, I'm really excited for the future of Sentai.
Sure.
There's a reason why, because again, this was the first time they've done this whole versus thing for an entire season, and so it's part of the reason why the games didn't develop as much, because they were just trying to figure out how do we get these two to keep interacting every episode.
They were too distracted.
And what I think is that when people watch this, future writers watch this, and they figure out how to do another versus season,
they got that part down. Then we can throw in a decent group of villains.
Exactly. So which means potentially maybe not the next series, but the series after that or after that, we can get an amazing series out of this. So I'm looking forward to that.
Like the one thing I would feel so that's not just a repeat of Lupat is that it, and I think someone else suggested it online, and I'm like, that's the way to do it, is one Sentai team of good guys, one Sentai team of bad guys.
Yes.
And they're bad guys. They're the dedicated villains. They're not Shades of Grey. They are the villains of the show.
That's what I thought this was gonna be.
No, but I was down for seeing the challenge of trying to make two Shades of Grey sides on this, and I think mostly they were successful with a lot of caveats of things to improve it, like you said, and I agree. You're right. They would look at this season and went, okay, like I think this is the evolution of Sentai right now. Well, you have Q Ranger, where it's like this is the most we're going to try in one season. We're going to try 12 max to see how that works. And they've learned that they have to figure out better characterization and balance of the characters. So this season, they figured out, okay, why don't we split them and make them fight each other? So that sort of fixes problem one, but then we have a new problem, which is lack of development of the villains.
Yeah.
So we have to now figure out the next evolution from that, which is a combination of all of this with stronger villains.
Yes.
Yeah. But again, I'm looking forward to the future Sentai.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to next week's episode. Because it looks like Destra's going to come back with items now. And again, from the clips they've shown of like the city being destroyed, them being in turmoil, you get those emotional shots where they have to contemplate something.
You think we're finally going to get a real team up where they know who they are?
I think they're going to have to because, again, it's going to be for one of those greater good scenarios. Yeah. So next week's episode is going to be a big one I'm looking forward to us chatting about.
Especially with that last shot in the trailer where you see the episode where like, woof.
Yeah,
you're teaming up.
Yeah, you have to team up. And only that though, but you have to bring your A game. You have to figure out every combination. So this is going to be a really good episode.
Yeah.
Okay, so will we give this one out of 7?
Out of 7, I would give this a pretty solid. I'll give 6.
I'll give it. I was gonna say 6.
Out of 7?
Yeah. Still doesn't beat my scavenger hunt episode.
It's a fun app.
That's a fun episode.
It's a fun app.
I'm with you guys. I give it a 6. I love the elements here. I love the fact, especially. Oh my gosh.
6.2. Just in that.
Yeah, exactly. 6.5.
Yeah.
So let us know what your guys' rating is, and we'll let everyone.
Yep. So let's drop in the comments. What are you guys' ratings? Audience rating time.
Audience rating.
Audience rating time.
So the next episode, I think they said like last battle or something. So
the final battle.
One of the final battles.
Yeah.
I mean, they're calling it. They're calling it with the. Yeah, it's probably the final battle with Destra.
Because the thing is, we still got to get a lot. We still don't know what the deal with the Butler is.
Yep.
We still don't know Noel's backstory, and they still got to beat
we don't
Zamigo.
know Noel's story.
Oh
we
wait,
certainly don't know Noel's story, and that's something that I feel is one of the biggest faults in the show.
I kind of feel bad because I've been calling Destra like the secondary villain, which I guess is supposed to be Zamigo. It's supposed to be the secondary villain.
Oh yeah, Destra is like second in command.
But we see Destra more than we see Zamigo over the course of the series.
That's true. What was I just gonna say? Like I feel like Noel still has to get a lot of his stuff figured out right now. We got super chat.
We got another super chat.
Anthony Davis. Also, Lupat gives Patos less and Lupin's more.
Yeah, I know a lot of folks are very understandably complaining about that, and even like Noel's power up, technically like.
It doesn't make any sense.
You could have just
gold. We don't see gold.
No, you don't see the benefits of it.
Should have given that. You couldn't have given that to the Patrangers.
Yeah, to Kiichiro.
Yeah, you couldn't have given that to Kiichiro.
But I'm still on the theory that Kiichiro is the Grand Lupin.
Now, or Kyrie's
put that picture up.
Or Kyrie's being trained to become again the head of the gang list, which would be dope.
Now,
go ahead.
The
only last thing I was gonna say is again something else you have to learn from the season. Again, as he said, you can't make one team cooler than the other. They need to be balanced all the way around. Because from the get go, you made the Patos less. From not only just from like their storylines, from their costumes, their toys aren't selling as much because they just don't look cool. They look cheesy, and who wants to buy the cheesy looking figure?
Listen, Lupins have a cape.
Yep.
That's a cops. No. I'll say
you can do cool. Sorry,
you can do cool cops
like SPD.
SPD.
No, but I do like that thing you brought in, the little megaphone with the baton. That's my favorite.
Just wish they used it more.
Exactly.
Actually, I want you to know, Jezzer, that the more I keep seeing the opening credit sequence, the more I see Arsène Lupin's silhouetted shot.
Put that picture up.
The more Nagami, please. The more. You're slowly convincing me.
Not that picture. Not that picture.
Why no? I want to see it now too.
What episode was it?
It's okay. He gets to do it.
Now I understand why I didn't do it. But
okay.
You're seeing it. You're kind of.
I'm
coming
slowly
to my
seeing it, and
he just got like a little creepy mustache.
Maybe Keiichi's the real descendant of Lupin. Maybe it's not really him.
And I'm fine with that. I'm totally fine with that. Where he just comes like, "Oh, I'm your dad. Oh,
I
have to be a thief now." No,
But I'm just saying, I'm starting to see it.
There you go. See, I'm converting some people.
Actually, they kind of dropped the ball there because it's going. Man, now you got me thinking about it. They've been doing that from the get go, and that was Kiichiro's motivation for becoming a cop. And it was like he wanted separation from the life he saw.
Oh, he found it. He found it.
Oh my god!
He found it.
I think there's some evidence.
There's got it. I see it.
I think there's some evidence.
I think Japan's too lazy to cast.
I know. I was gonna say the same thing.
I think there's
lazy
also
and kind of cheap. Lazy and kind of cheap.
Yeah.
Because they're like, have you seen
why pay
Toei's
another actor?
Have you seen Toei's wig budget? It's awful.
It's
terrible. They have some terrible wigs on that set.
That's definitely not a wig. That's his hair, and that's the same actor.
actor.
I call it. All right, so let's see what they rated it. Panda Blog says 5.8 out of 7.
Okay.
All right. Got that 0.8 in there.
Layla says 10 days until I'm 17 out of 7.
Woo!
Birthday.
Toku should have happened in the middle of the season out of 7.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like the costume. Solid 3. Zamigo needs more screen time out of 7.
Yeah, that's true.
Okuya Senpai. J-Boss 2.3. How do you say that one? Wings and His name is Peter. He's using his sisters again. 3 out of 5 because finally I can't defeat Destra. Finally can't defeat Destra at all. And then Anthony Davis 4.5. So they're about the same. There's 1 week where we were totally on 2 different sides of the spectrum as far as when we rated, I think, Zi-O.
Yeah.
That's where I was just like, wait, I'm start questioning my taste.
Which is where you brought the question up into THS Hashtaggers, and we actually had this. People were discussing on it.
Yeah. So and THS Hashtaggers, tell me if you guys think that Kiichiro is the actual.
I thought we had to look it up there. My bad. Well, just go. You know where to go.
So I think that's it for today's episode. You guys, we had a good time. We finally got you back.
Nope. I won't come back.
We're gonna lose you again this.
I'll be back next week, and the following week.
You'll be back next week.
Yeah,
We'll also be celebrating with us a certain birthday.
Yes, I will.
Ooh, yeah.
I'll be there. Oh yeah, don't forget, like we said, go to Facebook, THS Hashtaggers, for keeping the conversation going. I will be back next week for sure. I have another couple of weeks after not be able to be here, but
we'll hold it down for you.
Yeah. No,
you guys, thank you so much.
Last minute one.
Last minute. DDD Cosplay super chat for being good sports. Great episode.
That last $3 is for you.
That one was
Theoretically, it's more like for all the stuff you went through. All right, thank you again so much for watching, everybody. And anything else we got?
No, just be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Make sure you share out this video.
Johnny's on app? No.
Wait, what? No.
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 Thank you guys again for spending your Saturday nights with us and watching Henshin Hangout.
Henshin Hangout.
We'll be back next week, like Justin said. The whole team is back again. We're going to watch the final battle. Not the final battle, but the final battle.
One of the final battles.
Thank you again for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe to keep up to date with everything trending
in geek pop culture.
Peace.
We out.
See ya.